guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back. So let's start with the first review of May, cause be prepared. I will post many song reviews in May cause we're gonna have many comebacks that I am anticipating so much, and I already know that they're gonna save 2023 altogether. LESSERAFIM now, and then aespa on the 8th and G-Idol on the 15th. I mean, some of my favorite groups are coming back this month, so it's gonna be a gold month in K-pop world for sure. I'm still hoping for an Everglow comeback announcement, by the way. That would literally make May the best month of the whole year, let me tell you. Anyway, I thought I would have posted my usual review of the month before this, but honestly, April felt very lackluster to me. There weren't bad songs, by all means, but not even bops that changed my life, you know? It wasn't an interesting month overall, especially if we compare it to the other months of 2023 so far, so I didn't feel very motivated. Maybe I'll do a quick ranking in the next days, who knows. But in the meantime, I have a lot to say about LESSERAFIM's first full album. Please note the sarcasm here. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Let's start with the concept photos and the packaging of the album. Actually, no, let's start with this trailer because it was a beautiful piece of art and it made me so excited for their comeback. The cinematography was just stunning and so well made. A lot of things made me gasp in this trailer, like Chaewon's bionic arm, Kazuha burnt wings, and the final Yoonjin in this purple eye. I don't know, it was also trippy and mesmerizing. I loved it. Then they dropped the concept photos and oh my god, I gasped again. This was so beautiful and unique, and then I discovered that they were shot by this famous Korean photographer, Choi Ji-seok. I am sorry I'm pronouncing it wrong for sure. By the way, I didn't know him and I checked him out after seeing his work with LESSERAFIM and oh my god, I am obsessed. He has a very unique and specific style and his shots are all so creative. As someone who is very into photography, I find his work truly amazing and I think I'm gonna buy the album for this photo book alone. Then the next day they dropped this. Like, how can you go from something so aesthetic, so unique, to this? Like, I was legit thinking it was a photo shoot for a clothing brand or something. But I mean, I wasn't that surprised given that LESSERAFIM promoted their debut song Fearless basically in jumpsuits all the time, even though they had a model concept. So, well done, Hybe. Finally, they dropped this last set of concept photos, which again, after the amazing first one, it felt very basic and underwhelming, but at least it didn't look like a clothing ad. Plus, the whole Western concept and vibe was cute, and we found it in the Unforgiven MV a bit, so I'll give them that. So, just as soon as I thought they couldn't hurt and disappoint me anymore, they dropped the packaging of the album. What is this? No, really, what the fuck is this? I saw a tweet saying, who wiped their ass with LESSERAFIM's new album, and oh my god, I laughed to keep from crying. Like, literally, who thought that this was a good idea? Like, how can you have the best photographer in the industry for your concept photos and then have literally shit stains on your album? That's so fucked up, man. I am genuinely angry. Anyway, moving on with the next fucked up thing that IVE did to us. How can you say that you're gonna release a full album with 13 songs and among these 13 songs you put all your old songs basically? And look, I can go past the remastered versions of Fearless and Blue Flame. I mean, they lost a member after these releases, so it kind of makes sense to redo them without her. But what's the point in adding Anti-Fragile and Impurities and their old intros? Like, are you fucking kidding me? They're not even real songs. Honestly, not even Blackpink dared to do this much, and given that LESSERAFIM literally debuted with a mini album with 5 songs in it, I definitely didn't see this coming. However, if you'll reach the final section of this video where I'll talk about my final thoughts about the overall album, I'll explain a theory that I have on why they structured the album like this, so bear with me.
We don't have to be forgiven. We are unforgiven.
Of course, LESSERAFIM has an intro in their album, making this the third intro in this album. Well, I guess why singing when you can talk over an instrumental, right? Anyway, I'm generally not a super fan of their intros. I mean, their instrumentals always hit, of course, and the fact that they talk both in Korean, English, and Japanese is cool. But yeah, I prefer Purple Kiss intros, honestly, because they could be easily an actual song. But I actually like a lot Burn the Bridge compared to the Hydra and The World is My Oyster. The instrumental is really good, especially the last sequence, and also the sentences they say fit in the instrumental really well compared to the other two. Also, I like the fact that there is a proper climax in this intro that builds the excitement well, which is exactly what a good intro should do. Overall, this intro has the potential to be almost a song, while the others had a really empty instrumental, which made them feel very underwhelming, at least in my opinion. So I am happy that they were able to surprise me with this. Let's go to the juicy section. So I was super curious about Unforgiven because from the teasers it gave me the vibe of an Anti-Fragile 2.0, so I was quite curious to see whether that would have been true or not. Also, it had this Western aesthetic and concept which was very interesting, and it's reflected also on the instrumental because they sampled the theme of the good, the bad, and the ugly of Ennio Morricone. By the way, I love this trend of sampling stuff, which started by sampling classic songs in 2022, and now it continues with sampling basically everything. Like with Young, Dumb and Stupid by Nmix, which sampled a famous nursery song. It's funny because I predicted that in 2023 this trend would have reached its peak, so yeah, happy I was right. Anyway, let me cut to the cheese. I love this. I love this. I am obsessed with Unforgiven. It's salty material for me, and honestly, I didn't see it coming. Fearless was not it for me. It was boring and underwhelming. Anti-Fragile is very good compared to Fearless, and it's by all means a great song, but I don't know why it didn't age perfectly for me, to the point that some parts became almost annoying, so I didn't expect to like Unforgiven this much. It reminds me a lot of Anti-Fragile for sure, but I honestly think this is a better version of it. Every verse, every section, every word goes smooth and everything fit in perfectly. For starters, contrary to Anti-Fragile, we've got an actual pre-chorus, very melodic, which is the perfect transition to the chorus. I also like that there are many different sections in the chorus because it starts with a talked anti-drop, but then there's the singed part, which is probably my favorite of the whole song, with all this chant on the background, and then there's again a talked part where they go and then again with the singed verse but more brief. I mean, wow, it's a roller coaster of emotion, honestly. I also liked a lot the rap of Yunjin and Kazuha in the second verse because it's also the part where we can clearly hear the Western sample, which fits so well in my opinion. I also like a lot the dreamy bridge, and I think Eugene's voice fit it perfectly. I don't know guys, I love this release. It feels very LESSERAFIM, but without being a copy and paste of their previous release. Also, they have the capacity to always put in their songs these extreme catchy phrases and words. I don't know how they do it. In this case, it's this part right here. I could listen it all day, honestly. I also love that they refer to themselves in the lyrics with Kazuha saying, "Let me tell you about LESSERAFIM." I don't know, it was so cool and kind of hyped me up. Moving on to the other aspects of the title track, the MV could have been so much better, honestly. It wasn't bad per se, but first of all, apart from some cowboys' hats, there is nothing here that gives the Western vibe that this song has. Also, the final scene with them in a denim set dancing between the cars reminded me so much of the Anti-Fragile MV, to the point that it was quite annoying. Overall, I feel there wasn't a clear direction for this MV in my opinion. There wasn't a specific color palette, there weren't unique sets or shots, there wasn't a clear storyline. I don't know, it just felt like they randomly put together different shots and scenes and they wrote LESSERAFIM or Unforgiven on any main object of the scene, like the plane or the sword or the bullet, and called it a day. Again, LESSERAFIM deserve much more and I have yet to find a really aesthetic MV from them, which is such a shame. The styling look quite basic, honestly, and again, it reminds me a lot of the Anti-Fragile styling, but much less aesthetic in my opinion. There's not even one outfit that I said, oh my god, wow, I love it, and I'm genuinely sad about it. Finally, about the choreo, is very LESSERAFIM, very hard and energetic, a lot of twists, and they put many references to the Anti-Fragile choreo, which can be cool, but overall, unfortunately, I don't love it. They didn't manage to top Fearless choreo in my opinion, not with this one nor with Anti-Fragile. However, the parts where Chaewon and Kazuha crawl on the floor got me like, oh my god, I gasped. Don't get me wrong, their choreos are always very entertaining to watch, plus LESSERAFIM are simply the best performers out of the 4th gen, so I am sure I'll have the stage performances on replay as soon as I start promoting it. So yeah, overall, their best title track in my opinion. Not everything was perfect, but almost nothing it is, so. The song itself is a bop though, and I'm generally thinking about standing them because they're simply so freaking cool. Anyway, fun fact, I don't know if you noticed it, but I was expecting to see another question at the end of the MV that hinted the title of their next comeback. You know, as soon as the MV of Fearless was over, the question, do you think I'm fragile, appeared on the screen, and in Anti-Fragile, the question was, do you wish to be forgiven? And then we've got Unforgiven, and honestly, I always found this so cool and interesting, and it quite surprised me that this time we didn't get any. So many people, myself included at this point, think that Fearless, Anti-Fragile, and Unforgiven are tied and are like a trilogy, and this actually makes a lot of sense. Also, the common theme of these 3 songs is always a message of empowerment, whether that is to not being scared of anything like in Fearless, or to not be solid in the face of, to be solid in the face of hardship as in Anti-Fragile, and now to not seek for forgiveness in Unforgiven. So this actually makes super sense and it makes all more interesting. I really can't wait to see what LESSERAFIM's future is gonna hold for us. What is sure is that we're gonna see some good. Okay, and these are where things get ugly. You know, I had high expectations for their B-sides because in my humble opinion, LESSERAFIM are the queen of B-sides in the 4th gen. In their previous releases, every B-side had a really strong and unique identity to the point that even if they were rookies, you could tell that these songs were very LESSERAFIM. So you can be sure that I was expecting the same thing in this album, if not more. Instead, after the title track and after re-listening to basically all their discography, the first B-side looks like something very generic that every Western artist would release. It's not that the song is bad, as a matter of fact, it's a very catchy song and I added it in my playlist, but it's just not something I would have associated with LESSERAFIM. It's not unique and it's for sure not impressive. It's a fun song, but I will forget about it in no time, for sure. Boom, 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 내 심장이 뛰네. Get it like boom, 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 get it like boom, 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 boom. Thank God, at least there's something more unique and cool. I am so happy that they decided to put some parts of the Hydra into an actual song. I mean, I'm a mess in this dress, but we're still the best dressed. It's an anthem and a complete mood, let's be honest now. Anyway, I wanted to love this song much more than I actually do, but unfortunately I'm not super obsessed with this. However, after some thoughts and a few listens, I understood why. There are many different parts, too many different parts, that make it look a bit weird and messy. Also, I feel the song never really reaches its peak and it always remains a little flat. But it's a cool song nevertheless. The boom 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 part got stuck in my head. It's really super catchy and I love the girls wanna have fun part. I wish there would have been more of that, in fact. I know the Of course, the usual ballad we find in every album. Again, I was hoping for something more unique and refined given LESSERAFIM's discography, but okay. Don't get me wrong, it has some good elements. I especially love the instrumental of the pre-chorus and how it builds up to the chorus. That's a nice transition, but since I am not the biggest ballad enthusiast, I will need a bit more than this. Their vocals are amazing though.
I'ma make a move. 삶을 가지고 겁도 없이 fall in love. 시작해버렸어.
Again, a generic and bland song that any Western artist could have released. Did I listen to the wrong album and mistakenly put on replay a Taylor Swift song? Cause that's the vibe it gives me. It is cute, yes, but I don't care about the Seraphims being cute and basic, honestly. And why the fuck did they perform this song in the comeback show with a video that was basically a cheapest version of Animix's Funky Glitter Christmas Envy? I swear, y'all want me to throw fits. Look at LESSERAFIM beating the Rosalia allegations by releasing a Spanish song. Of course, I had to wait for the end of the album to have finally a cool B-side. It feels a bit cringe when they speak in Spanish because it cringes me every time a K-pop group speak in another language, beside of course English and Japanese. But aside that, this song is really cool and badass. I love it. The production is really well done and overall it makes you wanna dance and shake your ass, and honestly, that's the type of sound and vibe that I wanna see in LESSERAFIM. My favorite part is definitely the bridge, the ole, 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 ole part. I am seriously so angry that they didn't perform this song in the comeback show. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Why did you choose to perform No Return or Flash Forward instead of this hit? Especially when you're a group so heavily based on dance and powerful performances, I really cannot think of a single reason not to perform this song, and I never will. I'm genuinely so angry about it. The choreo for this would have been lit for sure. Hybe, I will never forgive you for this. So overall I'm quite baffled because it happened the opposite of what I was expecting. I wasn't sure that I was gonna love the track 100%, but I was sure that we were gonna get so many amazing B-sides. Instead, I really like Unforgiven more than I thought. It surprised me in many ways. However, I am curious to see how it will eventually grow on me given what happened with Anti-Fragile. But the overall album, that's a huge no for me, and I am actually really pissed. 13 songs, of which more than half are either remastered old songs or just simply old songs thrown in there without an apparent reason. Because if you think about it, it really doesn't make any sense to include Anti-Fragile and Impurities in his album. Like, sometimes it happens that an artist puts an old song into a new album, but this happens with singles, not with the title track and the B-side already included in a mini album. Like, it actually doesn't make sense. If you couldn't find 10 new songs, you could have made an album with less songs. It's as simple as that. I mean, Blackpink did it for their first and last 2 albums, and they are perfectly fine, so. Unless, and that's the only justification I can find, the rumors that I talked about before about Fearless, Anti-Fragile, and LESSERAFIM being a trilogy are true. Because if you think about it, they included the intro, the title track, and one B-side of their previous mini-albums. They remastered only Blue Flame and not Sour Grapes, for example. They included Impurities and not No Celestial or Good Parts. So, like this, they have their first full album with like a sum of their previous releases, plus new songs. Honestly, guys, this is the only quite interesting reason that I can think about. Otherwise, they're just messing with us. And I hope I'm right so that I can feel very smart to try to figure it out. Anyway, this doesn't change the fact that I was expecting more with the new songs that they gave us. And apart from some exceptions, some of them don't really feel like a LESSERAFIM song, and that's a shame given the fact that they managed to establish a really unique sound in their discography in the span of just a year. So I can't help but feel disappointed. A lot. Anyway, I am more interested in LESSERAFIM each day that passes. I think they are a really special group with so many charisma and potential, and I am really thinking about standing them. So guys, this concludes this video. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you liked it, and let me know in the comment what you think about LESSERAFIM Unforgiven. See you in the next video. Bye!